Welcome to your daily dose of theological German. We are on number 14, working our way through some stuff on the theology of culture with Paul Tillich, and we've been having some dense and difficult sentences. But yesterday, things lightened up, and today, even more so, we're going to have kind of a follow-on from yesterday's sentence. So let's get right to it. So yesterday, Tillich introduced a kind of a distinction that he wanted to make between different kinds of areas within philosophy, and the reason why he's doing that is it's going to help him make a distinction between philosophy of religion and theology, ultimately, and we'll see that here today. So first, though, he has another offset sort of partial sentence here that kind of complements what was on yesterday, so you want to make sure that you've kind of looked at that distinction, and here he makes another one. So here it says, or moral philosophy, which asks, what is das Sittliche? You know, this word here is typically, this is an adjective, as you can tell by the morphology here. And Tillich does this a lot. In fact, in philosophical writing and theological writing, authors will do this a lot. We don't do it this way in English, but they'll actually take and use a definite article with an adjective to get at an abstract concept that is sort of a noun, but it's more the abstraction of a characteristic that would be from an adjective. So where in English we would say morality, in German you can say das Sittliche, you can say the moral. You could also conceivably in German use an ending like kite to indicate an abstract noun from an adjective, but Tillich likes to do it this way, and I think it has to do with being within kind of more philosophical discourse. It's probably more characteristic of how they do it. So you'll see this a lot. We saw it in a previous episode, but anyway, that's a long explanation, but that's what's going on here. So we're just going to say morality. What is morality? That's what moral philosophy asks. What is morality? And you're going to distinguish between that and normative ethics, which asks, what is moral? So you can see kind of how that maps onto the distinction he made yesterday. What is art versus what is beautiful? Here he's saying moral philosophy can make a similar distinction. What is morality versus what is moral? And then this is where he's going to get to his conclusion. Ebenso, which means, well, it's sort of like even so in English, but you got to think archaically in English to really get the sense of it. Even thus, or in just the same way, in other words, in the very same way, is to be distinguished. So again, we have a zu construction with the sein verb here. Is to be distinguished philosophy of religion on the one hand, einerseits, seits meaning side, on one side, and theology on the other side. And so what Tillich is saying here is that philosophy of religion is to theology what moral philosophy is to ethics, and what philosophy of art is to aesthetics. And so in the same way that you can distinguish between answering the question, what is art, and answering the question, what is beautiful, and you can distinguish between answering the question, what is morality, versus answering the question, what is moral, in just the same way you can distinguish between what is religion and, well, what would be the question here? Whatever question theology is getting at. What is it we can say about God or something like that? Who knows? But there you go. There's a relatively easy sentence and tying together nicely a big point that Tillich has been trying to make.